there's a new star in Dallas, new sheriff in town, and her name is Paige Beckers. She, I don't want to say leads, but I mean, I guess leads the group of additions to this team this season. Dallas Wings went through a lot of change in the offseason. Um, Losing Satu Sabali, free agency, um, bringing in a new head coach, bringing in a new core, essentially, with the additions of Dejanay Carrington and Alyssa Smith. And they got a solid draft class as well. But yeah, we saw them in action already this season. Well, in the preseason. So we got to see how this team looks a little bit, but yeah, definitely excited to see this team, especially with them having the number one overall pick, Paige Beckers, on the squad, um, as well as some of the other rookies that they drafted, who I hope make the team, like Isaiah James, Master Scott, JJ Quinterly. Um, but really, just a team to try to reestablish themselves after going through a bit of an era with the Satu and Enrique teams. Um, just couldn't really get over the hump with those. They were always middle of the pack. Now with this new direction, they aim to be contending in, I would say, the next couple of seasons, hopefully. But yeah, so they got a new head coach, like I mentioned, Chris Koklanis.
Oakland.
Did I say that right? Koklanis. Chris Koklanis. And yeah, Tariq, what are your thoughts on this thing?
Yeah, like you said, they got a new head coach, Chris Planis. Their GM is Kurt Miller. Um, Assistant GM is Jasmine Thomas. So they made changes in the front office. Um, they made a lot of moves in the offseason, like you said. They waived Stephanie Suarez, who was a number 4 pick, I want to say in 2021, maybe 2022. Um, they traded Jalen Brown, Kalani Brown, Satsu Sabali, JC Sheldon, Sevgi Uzin for Dejanay, Nalissa, Ty Harris, and the rights to Makia Herbert Harrigan, who they would go on to waive. They signed Jorner Holmes, Kyla Charles, Louisa Geisel Solder, Maisha Hines Allen, Mackenzie Forbes, who they would also go on to waive, and they suspended the contract of Lou Lopez Seneschal due to personal reasons. They went on to draft Page, Isaiah James, Madison Scott, JJ Quinterly, and Aaronette Von Lay. Like you said, we've seen one game in the preseason. I was really impressed with the way that Isaiah James played. I was impressed
Yes.
with JJ Quinterly as well with her energy and effort, and she's always going to bring the energy on the defensive side. So I wasn't surprised by that at all. I was also happy to see how early they both came into the game. I think Isaiah James was one of the first off the bench. I think it was Maddie Segrist, and then it was her. I could be mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for this season's outlook for the Wings, I'm looking at Paige's immediate impact. How does she impact the game for them offensively as a team? I think she's a guard. She's a guard version of Elena Deladon, of Kevin Durant, of Kawhi Leonard, um, Stewie, just players that are super, super efficient, get to their spots, and don't take unnecessary shots. They don't shoot their way out of the game. They don't shoot their team out of the game. So I think she always has had that perfect balance of when to score, when to get her teammates involved. Um, she obviously has been very humble coming into this franchise, and they mentioned a lot a couple of nights ago on the broadcast how she is deferring to Enrique and saying, hey, this is Enrique's team. Enrique is one of the best scorers in the league. Like, obviously, I want to help her, get open shots, but there's going to be times where we just get her the ball and let her rock out. I'm gonna be honest. I hope they do that less this year. I think the reason that you get a Paige Beckers is I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. If you're gonna get
No,
a
yeah, be
Paige
honest, be
Beckers,
honest.
if you're gonna get a Paige Beckers, you're getting her so that she doesn't have to do that as often. It's the same way with last year
Yeah,
with Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark. I think when you bring in a player like
yeah,
that, they should only make the game easier for them. Um, it
I
shouldn't
agree.
like
I agree.
like obviously there's gonna be times where like, hey, we need somebody to go get a bucket. You get the ball to Enrique for sure, but I don't think you should be like
Yeah,
7 plays a quarter or 12 plays a half. We all get out the way and let Enrique go to work. Like I feel like we've seen that and it hasn't led to good success for the team. So change that up. I
yeah,
think Crisco Clandis understands that. I hope he understands that. Time will tell on that. I think Dejanay and Alyssa are the X factors to the wing success. I think Dejanay is going to bring what she brings regardless. Alyssa Smith can be great one game and then another game it feels like we're not completely sure of what version of her we're going to get. Um, this is a former number 2 overall pick. This is a player that had a lot of high hopes. Obviously, it didn't go her way in Indiana. Some things, they drafted her, and then the next year they drafted Leah Boston, and then the year after that they get Caitlin Clark. So obviously things didn't go the way that she had expected or the way she had hoped. But maybe a new change of scenery can help her get her mind right, get her mentals right, and she can progress the way that she's supposed to. For me, I'm looking at Maddie Seegers. Maddie Seegers was one of my favorites for most improved player last year before her injury. She was averaging almost 10
hmm
points a game, which was a huge jump from her rookie season. I personally think she should start over Nalissa. I think she adds more offensively, and I think she's going to compete defensively every single night, no matter if her shots going in or not. Um, and I think she just adds a bit of spacing, and she adds that like you're going to have to worry about her if you leave her open. She's capable of knocking down the shot because her herself is a great scorer and efficient scorer at the same time. Um, Rookie
yeah. Didn't she
impact.
win?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just when I think she won Athletes Unlimited this season.
Yep, yep. So, she had a great off season. Um, and I just think she's a really good player. I think she's a really good scorer. I don't know if she has all-star level talent with Paige and Enrique both being on her team, but
hmm
I wouldn't say that it's not in the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
I think she could jump again in her numbers this year. Obviously, she didn't get to play a full season last year, but I think she could jump to 13, 14 points a game. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility either, because she plays very well inside of the offense. I don't think she's a player that forces shots. She's not a player that like needs the ball in ISO situations, but she can score in ISO situations, like we've seen at Villanova, and we saw a good bit last
yep,
year. Um, the rookie impact is something I'm looking at. Do as I James, Madison Scott, JJ Quinterly, Wanley make the team. That's something I'm looking at. I think the way that Isaiah James and JJ Quinterly played the other night, I think they made a huge, huge impression on Chris Copelandis. I would be surprised if they don't end up making the team now. Um, just because you need that steady guard play. Like you need players that are going to play hard no matter what. Isaiah James is going to play hard no matter if her shot's going in or not. And then if she is making her shot, that's another shot maker that you have on your team. And then JJ Quinley is always going to play defense. And having that with a DJ Carrington where
yep,
you can go out and throw a lineup of her and DJ and Madison Scott potentially if she's on the roster at the same time, the defensive capabilities are endless. Um, now a big question mark that I have is watching that preseason game. Tierra McCown did not look very good. She doesn't. She doesn't look. I wouldn't say she's looked very healthy the last 2-ish years. Um, Obviously, someone at 6'7", you're worried about their long term health. But I think we've seen different times where she's been super dominant and hard to stop, and then there's been other times where she's been super passive and she's been very, let's say, what's the word, finesse. Like I seen her take
hmm
a long two the other night, and that's just something that she shouldn't really be taking, even if she's capable of making it. I think she just bailing the defense out when she takes a shot like that. I think her play and her health is key because they don't really have um, experience at the center spot behind her. I like what I've seen from Luisa Geisel Soder overseas. She just played recently against um, Dominique Malonga and looked really good in those playoff games. So um, I'm really interested to see what she can do. If she's I don't know if she's coming over right away. I would assume she is. Not 100% sure, but for the strengths for the Wings, I would say guard play, scoring, the youth to build around slash with, and then their weaknesses would probably be defense outside of Dejanay, and then efficiency from a few of their top players, meaning Enrique and Melissa at times. I feel like if their efficiency is, I don't need them to shoot 50% from the floor, but if they're shooting upper upper 43, 44, 45, 46%, I feel like the team is in a good spot. But if they're shooting sub 40, close to 40, like two, like you're hurting your team and you gotta do better at that point.
Yeah, to piggyback off the Maddie Seeger's point, I'm a fan of her game, been a fan of her game for a minute now. Definitely hope to see her in an improved role, especially with the development she's seen throughout the last couple of years. Um, a prolific scorer at the collegiate level, and can definitely utilize her scoring abilities to help this Dallas Wings team out, especially in provide some consistency where they've lacked consistency the last couple of seasons. Um, but yeah, I think really just with the youth movement here, and I like the pickup of Dejanay Carrington as well. Um, Dejanay Carrington, one of my favorite players in the league. Just her motor is unmatched. Like she's been impressive year to year, but ultimately this team here I feel can compete and will compete, but is obviously not there yet. So there'll be a fun team to watch this season. Um, I do agree. Kier McCowan does gotta improve on certain things. You just be I don't know. Like I would expect for her to be a to have a different outing than she did on Friday. Being that she has been in the league for a while and feels like she should have been at least regarded as one of the better bigs in the league by now, as far as like development goes, and just as far as like how or what trajectory she was on.
In 14
Yeah,
minutes, she had 3 points,
I,
3 fouls, no rebounds. Just
yeah,
for
that's not
frame of
good.
reference.
It's not good. So
And they don't
definitely
really
look to
have
see
a
how they
center.
address the center position as a team that used to have like 4 to 5 centers at a point
Hmm.
a couple years
Yeah.
ago, only having like one reliable ish center. That's something they got to address, and that's something that's gonna hold them back this season. So
Yeah, that's
at
definitely
least I
something
feel.
that they have to work on because the top teams, the teams that are contending for championships the most, um, have Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, John Cole Jones, and Nafisa Collier on their teams. You need a center. You need center depth as well. Like you're not gonna be able to
Yeah,
guard those players or contain those players with just one center. And I know Jordan Holmes can play the center, but I don't think you really want her playing that five. Uh, Aisha Hines Allen can play the five, but I don't know if you want to do that either. And I don't know if you want Alyssa playing the five either. Um, Now, if Luisa Geisel can come in and really contribute right away, that's huge for them because she has a really nice skill level. Or yeah, she has a really nice skill level, but I don't know I don't know what they do outside of that. Maybe leave a roster spot open, hopefully, and see if someone gets cut, and then maybe they can pick them up. But um, I know Kalani Brown probably wanted to go so that she could get more opportunity, but you probably should have made sure you had something there, just like a backup plan at least. Like you went from having too many post players to not enough in not a, in a very short amount of time. So I'm sure Kurt Miller knows they
Yeah.
need more front court players or centers specifically. Um, so we'll see how that plays out over the season.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, we got this group kind of at the eight spot right now. I feel like that's a good spot to put them in as far as like other teams, but I could see them being anywhere between 8 to 6. Um, just depending on how the season plays out.
Yeah, I would agree. I mentioned efficiency earlier. Enrique's first or her best year in terms of field goal percentage is 2020 when she shot 41% from the floor. I know people that listen to us a lot probably feel like I'm a little hard on Enrique, and it's not even that. It's just I'm a fan of efficiency. I'm a fan of like value offensively. Like 7 for 19, it's not good value, bro. You're taking 19 shots to make seven.
No,
I'm cool on that. I don't care if you get 22 points a game. I don't care if you score 21 points a game. If you're going 7 for 19, 7 for 18, 6 for 17, 6 for 16, you're not helping your team. Especially if you're not a lockdown defender. You're not a great passer. Last year was her best year passing. She averaged 5 assists, which is probably her best year in terms of playmaking because of how many injuries they had to deal with. Um, but I'm hoping with a real point guard that efficiency goes up because now the ball won't be in her hands damn near every possession because that's what it was before. Some of the efficiency problems was on her, some of it was on coaching, and them just not allowing anyone else to try to create. I think with a page, you have to allow that to happen, and I think that could help Enrique's efficiency. If it doesn't, I don't know what the hell can. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be honest.
yeah. Um, I mean, I feel with the duo of Paige and Enrique, I think it will work out because, like you mentioned, like the whole um, Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark pairing. Like you do have someone that can take the alleviate the pressure a little bit in terms of scoring and just playmaking on that side of the ball. Um, like Paige said, with not Caitlin, with Taylor Ricks asked her, what do you envision? Are you um, playing with a player like Enrique Iguodala? She said a lot of assists, and I mean, I can see a world where Page averaged at least a cool like 7, 8 assists maybe a game. Cool little what? 17 and 8 first season.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Because I think that's what Caitlyn had her for her rookie season. But I mean, we're seeing this trend of it's kind of point guards that are like we see Sabrina, we see Caitlyn, we see Paige, where they're those kind of guards that are just top tier
Dynamic.
playmakers. Like, yeah, they shoot the ball well, and they're able to facilitate, and you can run your offense through them. But the help that they have increases their game ultimately. Um, so I mean, we see Caitlin Clark receive a good bit of help in the offseason. Paige has a good bit of help with this Dallas Wings roster that we mentioned and talked about, and of course, Sabrina's coming off a championship with the amazing squad that she got up in New York. So yeah, definitely excited to see some good basketball from the Dallas Wings this season as opposed to other years where the offense has been real stagnant and just hard to watch at
when they
times.
had
But
freaking Satu on the team.
um,
Shit, crazy man.
I was about to listen. If you want to ISO rock out for a couple minutes, because it sounds like you got something to get off your chest.
Nah, because them
Or you
people are
chilling?
gone, so I'm cool. But it's a
Okay,
season preview. I'm not gonna take over their
got
season
you.
preview by talking bad about how they were in the past. I'm sure Wings fans know how bad they were. Just
Yeah,
keep it a buck.
keep it about 50. Yeah. But anyways, man. Um, regardless of regardless of how the Dallas Wings play this season, we'll be here breaking it all down here on the Multiple Media YouTube channel.
Appreciate y'all.
Stay tuned.